Greetings, welcome to my little quirky video about how tarot cards work. How do tarot cards actually work? It's a very common question. I've been asked it. I know many others have been asked it, and there are other videos out there by tarot readers explaining how tarot works or how it at least works for them. And those are the ones that really have inspired me to make my own video. I have also already written an article about how tarot works. Here I'm going to do a little bit more explaining of how it works, give you a little bit more of a visual of how it works, at least for me, because there are so many different types of tarot readers and everybody experiences it in a different way. The two basic types of tarot readers are like by the book, and then there's the ones like me who are more of like a psychic. You're more using the tarot as a tool for psychic messages, or some kind of intuitive way instead of just by the book way. You also have, I'm going to be shuffling my cards and playing with them a little bit, and I'll show you a few of them. But there are online automated tarot readings, and these are where images of all the 78 tarot cards are uploaded and they give an interpretation. Sometimes there are like 3 different interpretations because it will be one for like the past, the present, or the future, because generally that's the kind of, if you're doing a full reading that's automated, that's probably the reading you're getting. There are more complicated ones, and people even charge for these. They're usually, those are the ones that are free, but there's also ones that you pay for, and that's all they are, is computer animated. They are something that's already been put in there. It's not going to change just for you. It's not as personal when it's a computer giving you a reading, even though it may just be accurate. But there's also people that's pretty much how they do it. They memorize the 78 cards, what they all mean, and what they mean for different positions, and either, like I said, past, present, or future, or as like the Celtic Cross reading. I don't do Celtic Cross readings. I just don't like that spread. I've tried it in my journey of learning tarot, and I just don't like it very much. So, but I am a psychic reader. I use it as a tool. That's the type I am, and so I am going to tell you, relate to you, even show you in this video how this goes about, the process, what you can expect if you get a tarot reading from me, or just to get an idea if you're interested in doing tarot, how I do it, my perspective of how it works. If you're looking for a scientific explanation, this is not it. And I really don't think there really is one. You can try at it. You could say that the different symbols and scenes on these cards are used by your subconscious. Your subconscious intuitive mind speaks in symbols. That is true. And some even call it your younger self, your right side of your brain, the artistic side. It speaks through symbols. It is your cognitive, logical side that uses speech. As a tarot reader, I am really trying to connect these two hemispheres. I'm picking up the psychic messages, and then I am interpreting them in speech and telling you. So it's really a heavy task, and it's different than just reading for yourself, getting a reading from a tarot reader, because we are taking that extra step and telling you what these symbols mean. Because a lot of times symbols come out to us and we don't really know what they mean. Maybe you have to live life a little bit and see how they're relevant later, whatever the case may be. That's usually how people explain how tarot cards work in short form. So without any more explanation, let's get into the process. Okay, so like I said, I am a psychic tarot reader, or an intuitive tarot reader, if you will. And therefore, as I drop cards. And so therefore I am using my third eye, my sixth and seventh chakras, and so forth and so on to receive energy, receive psychic messages. So in order for me to do this, I must open up. I have studied, I have practiced meditation. I also practice visualization. That's a hard word to say, visualization. I practice it daily. It's one reason I do a daily general card energy reading, because it does help me open up for the day. It is a continual process. And why I do this professionally to get these psychic messages and so forth, it really takes dedication to opening up your third eye and being open. So I do this, like I said, through meditation, through visualization, focusing the mind, and letting the ego fall for at least the time being to give the reading. And so that's how it starts. Now, in a live I do live readings, and I also do pre-record videos, and I do written out readings. For a live reading, I'm going to let you relate your situation, your concerns, ask me your questions, and during this time, I am completely focused on you and what you're saying. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not coming up with what to say. I'm not even thinking about it in any way. I'm not thinking about my own experiences or anything. Because really with a tarot reading, I don't want to get my own vibes mixed in with yours, right? I'm totally focused on you. It's about you. And it takes concentration. Like I said, I practice meditation and visualization. And it is something that takes practice, and it's a skill. It's not necessarily easy to stop your thoughts and totally concentrate on what people are saying. That is a learned skill that brings out my gift. It's like I have a gift, and I'll speak more about that, psychic abilities and gifts, later on, but it's like I have a gift, but you have to hone it. It's just like anybody who's good at anything. Yeah, they're really good at playing piano, but they really had to practice to get really good at it, to really play full songs and well. They might have been able to pick it up very easily, but there's still a learning process involved. So that's just like tarot reading. I have developed this ability through practice to shut out those thoughts. So I am totally concentrated. So that's what I'm doing. I'm totally concentrating on you. And I'm not even thinking about the shuffling. But while you're talking, I'm shuffling. And I'll usually have some kind of spread already picked out before the reading begins, depending on what kind of reading you purchased. And while I'm doing this, I'm just setting cards out. I'm not thinking about it, other than I know the positions I want the cards in, but I'm not really thinking about it. And I'll have all these little stacks of cards, and this is all while you're talking. Now when you're done, when you have exhausted all the information you feel like releasing to me, I'll get into the reading. Now, like I said, I laid these cards out without thinking about it. I just kind of placed them. This is something I've developed by giving tarot readings. Over the years of giving tarot readings, this is just a method I developed. I don't know of anybody else who does it this way. This isn't based off of anybody else's method for tarot reading. This is just how I do it. It's just something I started doing, and it came out really well. I've had really good results doing it this way, so I just keep doing it this way. So this is something totally unique to me, okay? But if it sounds really cool to you, go ahead and try it if you want to read tarot. So after I have all these piles, like I said, after you're done relating your situation, asking your questions and all that, we'll get into the reading. Now, I'll pick the cards one by one, and I'll tell you what each card is really relating to me. And this can come in many forms. It's not always exactly the same. For me, certain symbols will come out. Sometimes it'll just be the ideas, the meanings behind the cards coming out. And sometimes it's just straight up messages, as I just get certain vibes and I relate them to you. And as we go through, I go through each position. Each position has a different meaning, right? And I just tell you the messages I'm getting from the cards. This could be advice. It could be telling you past things that are affecting your situation at the present. It could be things to look out for in the future. But as we go through and we start looking through all these cards, I'll go back to other cards and be like, well, this one we had this. Now this one's saying this. And they'll have connections, and they'll develop a bigger, broader picture, or even tell a story. So I just put them all together as we go along. And like I said, for me, it just comes out in symbols. It comes out in the meaning of the cards, and just straight up just messages I get from the cards. Things just come to me when I look at the cards. Now, the key to this is having an open mind. That's how I do it. That's how it works. If you're wanting to do tarot reading, interested in doing tarot readings on your own, that is the key, is having an open mind, and just being open to whatever comes to you. And that's what a lot of people are going to tell you in teaching you how to read tarot and so forth, especially reading it intuitively, is you gotta just open up for your intuition to speak to you. If your head's already full of thoughts, your intuition is going to have a hard time getting through. So like I said, it's just me and my practice of keeping open so I can get these messages. And that's just the basics, how it works. It's pretty simple, actually. Now, I explain this as a live reading. If it's a pre-recorded reading or a written out reading, instead of shuffling the cards and laying them out as you're talking, which isn't going to be happening because you're going to be off doing something else while I'm doing the reading, I'm going to be meditating and focusing. When I focus on the name, I repeat it several times in my mind to gain a connection. And I also have a process for connection that I go through for readings where you're not here in person in one way or another. And I have another article about that. I plan to make a video about that, kind of showing you, like I'm showing you here, the process. But I'm going to be concentrating on you and your concerns, your situations, your questions. I'm going to have those in my mind, and just meditate on those and focus on those and mindlessly let my hands lay out the cards. So basically the same process, it's just you're not there. The big difference between a live reading and one where I'm just doing it either written out or in video form and then delivering to you later, is that in a live reading, you can talk to me. You can ask questions with each card. We can conversate about the meanings, and you can get any issues, clarity that you want right there on the spot in the middle of the reading. So that's kind of the advantage of the live readings. But you get just an accurate reading with a pre-recorded video or a written out video. And some people just want a written reading, which is fine. That's how you absorb information. It's something you can go back to and read later when it applies in your life. And if you need any clarity on anything, you can message me later. So the live just makes it so it's in real time, as opposed to you have to read the whole reading and then be like, okay, this is this part here, I need clarification or something like that. Though I don't really have that come up much, but every once in a while, yes, it brings up other things that we can address after the reading. Now, the last thing I want to address with tarot readings, because I've just gone through and talked about how I have the psychic ability. It comes through as messages, as symbols that I interpret. Everybody has psychic ability. That is part of being a spiritual being, a spiritual energy. The part of you that is immortal, that lives forever, that lives on, whatever you believe. If you think you go to another realm of some sort, there is undoubtedly that. No matter what your beliefs, everybody believes we have some kind of like soul, right? It's what we call the soul, our spiritual body. These are things of this nature. That is something that is bigger than your ego human self. and therefore we all have psychic ability. The thing is, depending on the type of body you're in, what you accept in your beliefs is gonna experience your psychic ability differently. Just like there's different clairs, right? You have clairsentience, you have clairaudience, and so forth and so on. It's just experiencing the psychic or spiritual realm in a different way. You might be more auditory, you might be more visual. It might just kind of just know things. Everybody is a little bit different and usually a mixture. You're usually not just one, but we're all different. So there might be people with just straight visions. I know me personally, like I said, the messages come out differently and not always exactly the same because I have a mixture. Sometimes it's more auditory, sometimes it's more visual, sometimes I just know. Usually, like I said, it's just being open, and part of that is having an open mouth and just letting things flow through. Anybody can do this, but it takes practice to do it well, and really resonate for people or yourself. It just takes practice. And that's what I've done, and that's all you need to do. And you know what? It might not be tarot that really speaks to your psychic capabilities. There's different types of divination, and there's just different ways to connect to that energetic side of life. In the society we live in, it's generally looked down upon, looked to be evil, or just crazy, right? We believe people are just crazy. And I probably look crazy with my little hat. I thought it looked cute, went with the outfit, so that's why I'm wearing the crazy hat, I guess, to stand out, because I am really embracing my craziness. Because yes, this world sees us as crazy, but there's other cultures and traditions that see people who are crazy not as crazy, but maybe a gift, right? A psychic gift. And some people are more in tune than others. Like I said, everybody has a psychic ability. Some people it's just naturally heightened, or they've never really been taught to not believe in it, or to discard it, or to believe it's bad. There's all different spectrums. A lot of people I've seen that are tarot readers are ones who are brought up without the stigma of it being wrong, being evil, or just not real in any way. It has been encouraged, so they developed it because they were never discouraged from developing it. So we're all on different spectrums there. So it is possible for anybody to read tarot. Everybody has psychic ability. And that's how very powerful tarot readings are done. These people who, always have these reviews of, oh, you really helped me, that really hit on point. They're generally ones that have a good connection with the energetic realm. They're able to connect to your energy and relate to it in a way that makes sense to you. It takes a lot of practice. So if you're new to it, don't be discouraged if you don't get messages right away. And also be open. Like I said, everybody experiences it differently. And if you never really explored that side of yourself, you may really not know how you interact with that energetic astral realm. And like I said, there's many different readings. And this is just how I do it. It's just how it comes to me. And everybody's different, so you'll see another video that will explain it a little differently, or maybe totally differently. That doesn't make it any less valid. We are both very valid in the way we do tarot, so it doesn't matter. There's no real rules to it. It's not a scientific thing. It's not like how it's made, where we can go step by step and say you put in this ingredient and that ingredient, it comes out the extruder and you cut it up and there you go. It's not a mass-produced thing. It is something that is very mystical. It has a lot of mystery to it. The only thing that's really known about tarot is that it does work. And I've seen a lot of tarot readers just explain it like that. Like, I have no idea how it works. I just know it does, and so I do it. And that's how it's stayed around for centuries, is because it does work. So that's all I'm going to talk about in this video. I think I've made this video long enough and gone pretty well into all the different little facets of how a reading works, at least a tarot reading works for me. So that's it for right now. Make sure to subscribe, watch my other videos about tarot readings, or you can even watch my daily one card draw that gives a good little insight into vibrations and energies that are around us on a daily basis. And also I have interactive readings, all the kinds of stuff. So go ahead, subscribe so you can get all that tarot fun, especially if you loved this quirky little video in my neat little hat. Definitely want to subscribe. But I'll leave it at that. Blessed be.